Hi, everyone. It's Bonita here from rural Kansas. I'm early retired in my third year. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security, and I share frugal tips on this channel on how I make ends meet around my house and how I save money on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you'll stick around because today I'm going to share ways that I keep from paying full price. I hate to pay full price for things. Sometimes we have to do it. I just bought a gallon of milk the other day. It wasn't marked down. It was $2.89, but that was a reasonable price. So I was okay with that. The two milks that I bought before that, they were on markdown. And I usually buy like a skim or a 1% because they last long beyond their date because they have less cream content. So I buy a lot of things on sale and clearance and markdowns. And a lot of times when you look in my refrigerator and freezer, you're going to see those stickers. And that's one of the ways that I keep from paying full price is by taking advantage of those deals. And I try to limit how often I really have to pay the full price for something. But if I do pay full price, it is a reasonable price when I do. The second way is pantry challenges. And I'm going to show you one of the pantry challenges I just did for my lunch today. Rather than running to the store and grabbing things that we know are easy to find, we know where they're at, we know what we want, getting creative sometimes in our pantry takes a little bit more brain power, a little bit more effort. And it can really pay off though, because it can keep us from buying those extra things. Because we all know when we run into the store, a lot of times we come out with more than what we went in for. This is what I have left from going out to eat with my daughter the other day after my granddaughter's performance in a play. So I'm going to see what I have in the fridge and we're going to stretch this into a meal. I have some Brussels sprouts that I got at Aldi the other day. These were only like $1.80 something for a pound. This is a tremendous price. I'm going to chop some of these up in half and I add some eggs. And I think that'll make a nice large lunch for me today. I only used about 5 of these huge Brussels sprouts. So I have all of this left for another meal. I added 1 egg. I added this 5 Brussels sprouts, a little bit more of liquid aminos because that's what we use that's gluten-free and it's like soy sauce. And I have a complete meal for myself. So that is another tip right there in the middle of that recipe. Taking leftovers from your restaurant, adding things to it to stretch how much food you actually paid for. So that was a $15 fried rice meal at a restaurant. And by having it a second time at home and stretching that, I just decreased the amount that that meal cost me to $7.50 each. Now, I don't eat out often. My daughter offered for me to go out to eat with her after that performance, and I went. So I do sometimes do that with my kids if they want to go out to eat after I've met them for something. But taking that leftovers and stretching that into another meal makes that much more affordable for me. And honestly, me making that second meal at home, it was actually more delicious than the first time that I got it at the restaurant, if I do say so myself. And all I added was an egg and some Brussels sprouts and a little bit of liquid aminos. It was so good. The fourth way is rebates, store loyalty programs, and using those apps for that. And I know a lot of people don't like to do this, but it's the world that we live in now. That's how you get the best deals. I recently took a 19-day car camping trip and went to 5 states and 5 national parks, and I shared that in my videos with you. And when I got gas, I would check my Upside app to see if anything had cash back on any of the ones around me. And a lot of times Love's will be on there. Well, Love's has its own app and you can get 10 cents off a gallon every time you stop at a Love's to get gas. And a lot of times if Upside's on there too, then you can stack those deals. There's a Love's by where my husband works, and he always gets his gas at Love's, and a lot of times it's on Upside, and he can stack those deals. I also have the app for like Flying J/Pilot truck stops. And when I was traveling, I saw a lot of those as well. They also have an app where you can get 10 cents off every single time you get gas per gallon. That makes a huge difference today. So if you don't have those apps downloaded, it's a great way to save money. And those store digital loyalty programs are so important because that's where we get our digital coupons nowadays. That's where we activate those and then get the best deals at the grocery store. So I always use my Dillon's app and download digital coupons. And I also use my Ibotta app and I will download those digital rebates. And that's how I get the best deals. So I can sometimes catch them on sale and get cash back on a rebate. And that is the way I never pay full price for items that I'm already going to buy. My next tip is to make a watch list or a wish list of things that you need around your house. If you see that you're going to need toilet paper soon, like I just put my last 6 rolls in the cabinet in the bathroom, I'm going to need toilet paper soon. That's going to go on my watch list. Then I'm going to watch for specials, rebates, markdowns, so I can get the best deal to restock those items. All items we buy go on a sale rotation. And if we can get ourselves in sync with that sale rotation, we never have to pay full price. So I drink 1 Diet Pepsi a day. Pop has gotten crazy. I think the normal price here is $11.99 for a 12 pack. Well, that's like $1 a can. Paid 31 cents for this because I buy it on the sale rotations. And most recently, I got it where I paid for 2 12 packs and got 3 12 packs free. So I'm stocked up for a long time because, like I said, I drink 1 a day, and that brought that price to 31 cents. And that sale rotates all the time. So when I start to get down to like 1 12 pack or 1.5 12 packs, I start watching for that sale rotation. And you can do that on anything that you need, especially this expensive stuff, like soda. I'm not going to pay $1 a can for that. That's crazy, crazy. So watch those sale rotations and take advantage of that. The next tip is to substitute. If you see that you are running low on something, like you're running low on bread, do you have tortillas? Do you have bagels? Do you have buns? Do you have something else you can substitute in the place of that? You can turn your hot dog buns into garlic bread. You can make them into meatball sandwiches. You can do so many things with any type of bread product and just make it work. Make a tuna roll up instead of having it on bread. Use crackers instead of bread for your tuna. There's just so many ways we can substitute, but a lot of times we're just like, oh, we're out of bread. We got to run to the store. And have you seen the price of bread lately? I came home one of the last weeks and I told my husband, I said, we can't afford bread anymore for me. He goes, what? And I said, bread was like $4.50 to $5 a loaf for decent bread. I'm not paying that. That is ridiculous. And if you buy the cheap kind, it's like really small now, really, really thin. You can't even hardly like spread your peanut butter on it or it falls apart. So the cheap bread has gotten really, really cheap and it's still like $1.50 a loaf. So substitute until you can see that good sale and then snag some of that bread for yourself when the price and the rotation is within your reasonable price point. The next tip is to thrift, to buy refurbished. Those ways save you so much money. My last 2 laptops were refurbished, and I got a really good deal on both of them through Best Buy. I'd still have my last one that was refurbished if I hadn't dumped coffee on it one morning. So they are really good. They are tested, they are fixed, they are resold. And my dehumidifier, I bought it refurbished. It's still going strong too. In fact, last summer when it was humid, we just closed all the windows and turned that dehumidifier on. It dropped the temperature in the house like 10 degrees. It's amazing how much humidity raises the heat factor in your homes. And you can save money by just using like a dehumidifier to lower the temperature in your house. But that's a whole nother topic. So, yes, buy thrifted items, used items. My husband buys all of his shirts now at the thrift stores because he can go in there and find shirts that are like brand new for hardly anything. And if you've been shopping in a retail store lately, man, clothes have gotten out of hand as well. I think I shared last year or the year before, I tried to find a tank top. I went to like 6 stores. It was like $17 for a tank top. I am not paying that. I went to the thrift store, paid $2.50 for 2 of them that were in really great shape. The next tip is to go back to that old rule that I grew up with. Home clothes and work clothes or going out clothes or whatever you want to call it. I have clothes I wear at home. They might be stained. They might have some holes in them. They might not be the best. And then I have clothes that I wear when the public sees me. When I go out and I go places, I have better clothes. And by making sure that we are wearing home clothes at home and work clothes at work and coming home when we've been somewhere and changing our clothes, that actually will help us from having to pay full price because it makes the things we have last longer where we don't have to keep replacing them. And it's kind of like that restaurant theory. There is a price per use. And when you divide that out, you can make your things cost a lot less by making them last longer because the more times you use them, you're actually decreasing the price that you paid for it. The next tip is don't waste anything. Use everything that you have. Cut open that toothpaste container. If you're like me, I hide it in the medicine cabinet and I use the rest of it for like a week or two while my husband's on the new tube. I just save wherever I can. And it's amazing how much is left in that toothpaste tube. So use it all to the last drop. This right here, you're not going to see any suds or anything in there because even if there's just a little bit of blue left in there, I'm going to keep filling this up until all the suds overflow in my sink and I know I have used every bit of suds that is available to me. Once this thing is empty, I can wash dishes like 5, 6 more times with what is just in the residue in the bottom. So use every last drop. That will keep you from paying full price because it just increased the use of this bottle by like 5 times. And I bought this for $1.99 where it was like buy one, get one free. And it made the total cost $1.99 for this huge bottle. So look at those last drops. They will save you money. The next tip is to think ahead. Lay out what you're going to make over the next couple of days in your refrigerator to thaw. How many times I wish I would have done this raising my kids. I would come home and I'd be like, oh man, I didn't lay anything out to thaw. Now what am I going to make? Well, good thing I live in the country because I don't have the option to like run down the street and buy something at the store or run down the street and go through their drive-through. I have to figure it out. So a lot of times it was like tuna noodle casserole or something where the meat didn't need thawed out and I could throw it together quick. But laying things out ahead of time and having an idea of what you're going to make, that will save you a lot of money. It will keep you from having to pay full price by running somewhere and getting something else at full price. The next tip is to remember to use any discounts that you can possibly get. For me, it's a senior discount. I'm now 60, so I qualify for a lot of those, but I have to remember to ask for them because they don't automatically give them to you, and they don't automatically assume that you are 60 or that you're old enough to get a senior discount. The next one is teacher discounts. I have a daughter who's a teacher. She gets a lot of discounts. I have a son who has a federal ID for going to a certain college. He uses that federal ID to get discounts on car rental, motel rental, all kinds of discounts he can get with that ID. There's also veteran discounts. My husband is a veteran. We get veteran discounts like at the home improvement stores. There's so many discounts out there, but we have to remember to sign up and to ask for them, and then we won't pay full price. And the last tip that I have, you need to be debt-free. You need to be responsible with how you use credit cards, but using the cash back on your credit cards can be a great way to not pay full price. My Discover, right now I'm getting 5% back on restaurants. So when I went out with my daughter and got that rice dish, I got 5% back because I used my Discover card. My husband's birthday is this month, and we're going to take him out to eat. Upside has cash back for this restaurant at 6%. I'm also going to use my Discover card. That's 5% cash back. That's a total of 11% cash back on this meal for my husband's birthday. Well, that might come close to covering some of the tip. I'll take it. 11%, I'll take it. So those cashback apps can make a difference, and we have to remember to use them. So I hope this video has helped you think of some ways that you cannot pay full price for things. Let me know in the comments below if you have some more to add. I am always wanting to learn on how I can save money, and I learn from you as well. Thanks for listening today. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.